Live at the with the Historic Elitch Theater podcast, and I am Michael Bliss, and I am the executive program director. And today we have outrageous, contagious Harry, and actually he is Jesse Lockwood, and that's his character in his new film. And we have Clown from our new film that is premiering this Sunday at Bliss Fest, Hush Little Baby.
Ooh, at last, it's finally here.
Yes, we are so excited. Jesse is one of the producers, and so Jesse, why don't you talk a little bit about the experience that you've had with producing Hush Little Baby?
Okay, so yeah, this is it started off as just an idea. Hey, let's make a film. We're at DOM, and we just needed a script. You had a script, and so we said, okay, let's get together. We'll do a little, student film, basically, just with what we have. Like I definitely had a small amount of experience with videos before this, so we decided to go for it. And then in the process of that being greenlit, so to speak, we were able to attract quite an impressive crew and a team of people that saw the vision and wanted to help us out for a variety of reasons. This film, we're calling it a no-budget film, although we did spend about $350 total on food between you and I.
Jesse and I donated that money as part of the project to keep it as a no-budget film.
Yeah, and what a no-budget film actually means is that we paid for this with something as strange as friendship. Yeah, and pre-volunteering, just like that paying it forward energy, so that everybody that was on was there for the experience. And it ended up being one of those moments where just some of the best memories of my life were on set. Like, wow, we've got a real crew. This is a real movie. And then just since then, there's been a series of little miracles and fortunate happenings that have led to what I think is a really great film.
Yeah, and kind of this film began like 16 years ago when my son Austin was born at 1 pound 15 ounces, and every night we would have to go home and while he stayed in the hospital, and he was in the hospital for 3 months. And so it was like, okay, we'd wake up, we'd have to make that phone call and be like, how's he doing today? And they're like, oh, we don't know if he's going to make it. We got to do heart surgery. So he went through heart surgery. Or, oh no, we're going to have to do intestine surgery. And then they were pumping him with caffeine to keep his heart going. So this whole time, I was kind of like, oh my gosh, is my son going to make it? So that's kind of how the idea started, is how do mothers deal, with this? I mean, I didn't carry him for 9 months, so I took it to a mother's perspective. And so it's a psychological thriller about motherhood. And it's premiering this Sunday, August 25th at 3 p.m. with Rage of the Mummy, and that is at the Alamos Draft House, Sloan's Lake location. And you can go to blissfest333.com to find out more information and get your tickets. And so let's talk more about the process, Jesse. And you've been really taking it over on the editing side. What was the editing like for you with this film?
It was an adventure. Like I said, we were still film students when we started this, so we had a bunch of people on set, but there was just a couple of things that went wrong that like there was a moment where like, oh no, like did we mess it up? Or we going to be able to do it? So we were able to learn some techniques that allow you to fix issues with the shots. We had a couple of shots that just had a little bit of dust on it, and so we figured out how to use the proper effect to remove those, and I think that the shots ended up being really good. So it was a great learning experience. You don't learn by everything going great. You learn by having a problem and then you overcome it. And so we did that. One of the problems on the first day of shooting that was a big deal. We had like 30 plus children for this birthday party scene, and our lead actress was having some health issues the day or two before, but then it came the day of filming and she was just too sick. She couldn't leave the house. And so we were in a position where we're like, well, what do we do? If we send everybody home, we're never going to get everybody back again. And it's kind of like that's the death of a film before it even gets started. So what we decided to do was take one of the other cast members, and that was Gigi Youngblood, and we promoted her to lead actress, and it ended up not only taking the film in a different direction, because we were kind of envisioning it a little more comedic. We had an older woman cast as the mother, so there's immediately this like, was she the grandmother or what's going on? Like, kind of, but Gigi just absolutely transformed the film into something that is it's amazing. I still get goosebumps seeing her performance and just where the film went. There was a variety of things, including her dress, that were just so serendipitous.
Perfect.
It just came together in these magical moments. Era Lee, the baby. They say don't ever work with babies and dogs. My first commercial that I did was with dogs. And somehow it worked out okay, but I was like, oh man, I don't ever want to work with dogs again. That was so difficult. And babies, oh, that's got to be even worse. And so then, Hush Little Baby, here we are working with the baby, and it's like, okay, how's it going to be? And what a pro! Like Ariel's so performance amazing. Is just she was just so great. Like she did a couple of things, like the first shot of her. I don't want to spoil it. Yeah. There's the first scene of her where she's reaching for, just so magical.
The love of her in that moment, and also like when she cried, it was like, okay, we're all getting tense and nervous. Yes. The baby's crying, but then it shows in the film at the right time.
In fact, if it didn't go down exactly that way, that scene wouldn't have sold as well. That was the scene. Very point of the story. That scene either works and the movie works, or that scene fails and the movie fails. And Era Lee's performance is really what made it work. And like I said, it was just a variety of things that we planned to create the magic, but we didn't know what magic was going to be there. And so I'm going to take this nose off. So. And so then once it was there, we saw what was captured. We spent the editing process to bring that out and to emphasize the magic that we found.
And it just the whole magic of the film, how it just worked together, and the people that came together building that. I mean, it's really, kind of like the whole thing about BlissFest is creating unity in the community is what it's all about. And those people we brought together, even Clown. Clown is from my first film, not my first film, but my first Super 8 film in 1999, and taking these characters from other films and creating that universe. Yeah. And really what we've done with this is create a universe that we could build these characters in. And Clown, did you enjoy being a part of this film? Like another part, coming from another film, and he's bringing that character back.
For those of you on the radio, Clown was shaking his head yes.
Yes. He had a great time. So, Jesse, let's talk about the magic of the characters, like how it came together, and also the whole legacy part of this with Denver Open Media and Historic Helix Theater. And let's touch base on that.
Yeah, okay, that was a lot. So as far as the characters go, we have a short film, and like I said, the original concept was to be a kind of a smaller film. But as we developed it, we found that there was just a lot hinting at these characters and a lot coming through in the subtleness of the performance. And so what started off as just a small film is really turning into, it looks like kind of a proof of concept for a feature film, so that we can really develop these characters, because the world itself kind of took on a life of its own. And so instead of us actually going into the characters, we've teased and we've hinted and we've edited it in a way to where there's a second viewing's worth of watching, because the first time you watch it, you're not going to notice certain characters when they first appear. So
it definitely has Easter eggs.
Yeah, lots of Easter eggs and characters that are to some degree still yet to be defined. I think that the movie ends with a single arc with the main character, but it really is a beginning. If anything, maybe that would, if it was a feature film, that we leave off right at the inciting incident, or that first big change that sets the larger story in motion.
And talking about the legacy and how these characters grew from, my good friend Patrick Sheridan, he passed away. He was helping us with the Elitch Theater Academy and was working to help with some acting classes, some film acting classes. And so Patrick and I were working on the development of this, and then at the beginning, it was just going to be more like a family film. I wrote the script like as a skeleton script, and was working with Patrick. My wife was working with Patrick, and he was coaching her on this film. And so basically, I was going to shoot it, direct it, score it, edit it. My wife was going to be the lead, and then it became what it is today. And it's so amazing, this legacy, because Patrick Sheridan passed away, and then I was talking to David Quakenbush, who was our director of photography, and it was the night before Patrick's celebration of life at the Bug, and I sent the script over to David, and then we went to that celebration of life, and I asked David, what'd you think of it? And then he's like, really, Mike? This is all you got? I know you got more.
Wait, what? Oh, what?
Yeah, and so it was a skeleton. Like I threw Clown in it, and so David's like, develop. Who is Clown? Why is he in it? Develop these characters, and that's when kind of that wildfire just started growing.
Because originally we were just making a small film, and we were planning on just answering those questions on set, just kind of guerrilla style shooting it.
We were ready to shoot that. It was the week after, I think.
Yeah. Which is the way that you do it when you're writing, directing, and doing that shotgun style. But what David was getting at, and where I'm really glad that we went, was let's make this a real film, a film that allows all the people involved to do their professional best. And a script is what that's for. Like, the reason why scripts are formatted the way that they are is so that all the different departments can look at it and know what they need to do. And so that's what we did, is we were like, okay, well, let's go back and we'll really take a different look at the characters. And I think we elevated the whole story from being a small story about one mother's day into really spawning a universe, that kind of brings cohesion to some of the other ideas and other short films that you've done, bringing Clown in. If somebody watches Hush Little Baby, they may not understand why Clown is even in the film at first, because like I said, the narrative isn't developed, but it is integral. There's a lot of things about what's hinted at in the movie that we have ideas for and that we want to develop. And so this is that beginning of the universe, so that each of the characters' stories can be explored in whatever the next form is.
Yeah, and really with Clown, it was having him in that scene to make sense why he was there. Yeah. So then it's like, who is Clown? And that's the cool thing about these characters, is there's so many different characters that we added. Yeah. After talking with David and just built the characters around this film, and then from there it's like, this can definitely be a feature. Yeah. And so this could be our pitch for the feature, and so it's just been such an amazing experience, like working with Jesse. And it's funny too, because I've been saying, I'm handing my baby over to you because I am so used to trying to do it all, that this has been a change for me. Like, I'm learning, I'm growing just from this experience, because sometimes it's hard to let go.
Oh, indeed. Yeah. I mean, we let go in a lot of different ways, in that we had some specific ideas about what the characters needed to be, but we got such amazing response in the actors that auditioned. What was one single speaking role for a young lady turned into two speaking roles, because both Valeria and Holly did such a great job, and as many of the others as well. Did such a great job. We're like, we have to cast two. Like, one isn't enough. Like, we need to put as much of this talent. And so that was another thing that was really nice. Holly was trained by Patrick Sheridan, so we're able to kind of
tie in that legacy.
That legacy. So the actors allowed us to bring deeper life to it, because we have these tools to work with. A lot of times when you're doing short films, the characters are really stripped bare to just make sure that a non-proficient actor can still believably deliver it. So that made the editing process a lot easier because there was a lot of good material to work with. Instead of trying to work around the performance, we were able to really like showcase each of the performances. I mean, I can't think of a single lack. There's every performance is really great. We have Steve, the sheriff, gives a great performance.
And I've been working with Steve for many years, and we're like, who can be the sheriff?
Yeah, he pulled it off just so perfectly. Spencer, I don't know if any of you know Spencer at 10th Street Coffee, but he is such a sweetheart.
Yes, he is.
In the movie, though, his act, he just comes across as like just such a hard ass. And
it's really, a pivotal moment. I mean,
it really is.
It's that moment that makes the movie.
You have to have an actor that can pull off power, and he rose to the occasion and pulled it off brilliantly. There's Austin, the barista, I thought that was a great performance. So yeah, really excited to see everybody. And Clown, of course, clowned it up.
He clowned it up. Yes, he did.
and Pepe as well. Pepe's performance, I think, was just really spot on. It was exactly what we needed for the film, and that again was a process that just worked out perfectly. The things that weren't going well, like, were the things that we needed to pull out anyway. And so it's amazing how sometimes things just come together.
Well, and that's it too. That first day, I was just so nervous, and then I'm like, is anybody going to show up? And all the extras that came, and then all of a sudden getting the news that our main actress is sick, and then it's like, oh my gosh, what do we do from here? And then Jesse pulled me aside, is like, what do you want to do? You got to call it. And I'm like, well, we can't do this again. We have everybody here. We have cast, crew, and when there's no budget, like try to get everybody back would most likely not happen.
Wouldn't happen.
And so, those magical moments going in, like, can I do this? That fear. Like, I had fear. And then I'm like just walking through that, and then just getting that news, and it's like, nope, the show must go on. Yeah. The show must go on, and
it is this Sunday.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, the 25th at 3 p.m. This has been such a long time in the making that it's weird that it's here.
And the legacy of this film too is with Historic Elitch Theater. We're shooting at Historic Elitch Theater. They're one of the producers. And then also Denver Open Media. So let's talk a little bit about Denver Open Media and that whole process of the legacy and where they were at that time and where they're at right now.
Yeah, it really is. It has become a legacy of Denver Open Media because Denver Open Media has changed. The channel was taken away. But we're still there. We're still producing films. In fact, we're probably more focused on filmmaking as like with our group anyway. Than ever before, and this film is the product of that agenda. That what can we do that's really the best that we can do with the equipment that we got and the resources that we have. If we wouldn't have had the cameras. One of the reasons why it was able to be a no-budget film is because I was volunteering at D1 at the time, and so I had free camera rentals, so we were able to rent the gear for free. The film wouldn't be possible without Denver Open Media and the people that made Denver Open Media what it was up until the end of 2018.
And, the legacy of Denver Open Media with this film is that part of the future is we have an idea of creating a film school with what went wrong, what went right, and how to make a low-budget film. And so that's kind of the idea of keeping that Denver Open Media legacy going, because we could still utilize the space, the classroom space, and who knows, what is next? And so that's some of the ideas we're throwing out there. And who knows, maybe it'll end up being a low budget feature film, as part of the class. But we want to do it right. That's the thing. Yeah. And stepping into this, it's like with producers like Denver Open Media, Historic Elitch Theater, and with Jesse.
Well, that's the thing, is that what spawned from this is our production company, Train Station Studios, which is a training school for filmmakers. So you learn by making a film. That's what we did, and I feel like I understand film so much more through the process of taking a film from square one to square Z.
and it really ties in with historic Elitch Theater and Mary Elitch's legacy with her working with the community, working with kids. We just brought all that together in this film, and it being on the grounds of the Elitch Gardens, where Mary Elitch, in the early 1900s, would have over 3,000 children there, and then us having, all these children in the carousel, just like we didn't even have to tell them to act.
No,
that was the amazing part.
Yeah. They were just there having a party, and I guess there was some people filming.
It was so natural, them just running around. It was like that magic, the magic of Elitch Gardens, kids having fun. And, that's the whole thing. And so with Bliss Fest and our programming, part of the proceeds will go towards our programming for Historic Elitch Theater and other events. And we do have a big event coming up that is very family friendly, and that's called the 1101 Experience, and that's September 7th. And you can check our websites for that. Check blissfest333.com. We have a lot of information about that coming up, and that is just an experience for families, a family mini-con. We want to bring that legacy back, to what Mary Elitch brought, and just to honor John and Mary and Elitch Gardens, the original Elitch Gardens, and really get that theater open again. So all donations will go towards Historic Elitch Theater at that event. And we could talk a little bit about that event. Clown might even be at that event.
Maybe not. I think Clown might be replaced by another creation. Well, one of the things that I want to say, the most important thing about 1101 for me is that kids aren't excited about shopping, and most of the conventions are just big open marketplaces. And there are things to do, but there's just not a whole lot of activity for children and even young adults. So what we wanted to do is create an event that actually is about activities. It's about engagement. It's about finding friends and doing things with them, not just shopping. So I'm really excited about this event. Now, of course, this is the first year that we're really having this kind of intense focus, but it's the beginning of what I think is going to be something that hopefully will be a trend, where we move away from just buying stuff to actually doing things and creating things. And that was one of the things about all the stuff that we're doing with films, is that we're like artists getting together, and instead of playing with Legos, our Legos are film equipment. So we make movies, and with the cosplay stuff, like I enjoy making costumes. It's one of my hobbies, and so to have a place where you can go and wear your costumes and do your hobby is fantastic. And to do that in a way where, well, hopefully some of the games we have set up will just be a lot of fun and get some lasting memories for people. That's why I'm really excited about the 1101 experience.
Yeah, and that all honors the whole legacy of just getting kids off their phones, getting them out,
Using
from their house. I mean, like most of the time, like I have kids and they're, inside FaceTiming, and that's one thing I don't get. I mean, I grew up by the kitchen holding the phone, and here they're walking around just FaceTiming and not even seeing life around them. And so, we really want to get that whole thing, get the kids and just have fun with them and get them off their phones. And that's what's, so important, engagement.
Yeah.
And so we have a few minutes left. So let's talk a little bit about your new film and that you're starring in and producing. So Hush Little Baby was his first film that he produced, and now he's become a producer.
So I'm co-producing and starring in Outrageous Contagious Harry, which is a punk rock fantasy romantic visual poem. It's a silent movie. Roland Allered, who I'd like to give props to, wrote a really entertaining, fun poem called Outrageous Contagious Harry. John Kassler, our director, has adapted it to film. Amanda Baker, our production designer, has turned it into an art film and really brought the visual aesthetic to life. And then myself and Anna Marie are doing our best to bring the charm and character to what should be a fun little short film. I like making silent films. It's a lot easier than dealing with audio. But I think my next film after this, I'm going to be focusing on Clockwork Beast, which is my band's film, and that's a lot of audio. That's the steampunk movie, and so I'll be at 1101 with the booth showcasing that. And yeah, just fun, lots of good stuff. And you have another film that's going to be coming up.
Oh yeah,
we're starting pre-production on that.
The 2 for Tuesday team for the 48-hour film project with Clown and his alter ego Tim Nickel. And Tim and I, decided to do the 48-hour film project this year, and we didn't have a team because we didn't want to let down a team. So him and I had no expectations and shot a film in 48 hours after our opening reception for Bliss Fest. And so we were like 4 hours late getting started, and we had our film finished on Sunday at 11 a.m. And so we turned it in early and found out that we got the audience award. So
what?
For our first year doing a 48-hour film project, and now premiering Hush Little Baby this Sunday. The Cinnamon was a comedy, and then Hush Little Baby is more of a drama, psychological thriller about motherhood. And so we are so excited. Blissfest is about the community, bringing filmmakers, bringing the community together, bringing an audience to watch local and international films. And like I said, part of the proceeds will go towards Historic Helix Theater and our programming and the future of that legacy. And so, check it out. The website's blissfest333.com. and historichelixtheater.org. And you can also check out the Elix Theater Academy at etfest.com. And Jesse, how can people find out about you? And let's talk a quick second about Lasting Legacy, and really, because it kind of ties into all of this.
Yeah. So Lasting Legacy is an idea that you originally had, and then just it kind of got developed into this idea of, very simply making videos for people that have things that they want to commemorate, whether that be their life, the life of a loved one, their family, a business that is dear to them, to be able to just create living memorials so people can actually, so the grandchildren can see what grandma and grandpa sounded like, what they looked like, what are their stories. This is something where, we now have the ability to really easily store the files for this. So what we're offering is basically raw footage for the lowest possible price. You can have somebody who knows how to work a camera, get really beautiful shots of your family or whatever it is that you want to commemorate, and then you have that. Then as time goes by, if you want to make edit things together or put things together, you can always edit it. I mean, Lasting Legacy, I think, just is one of those agendas that speaks to the importance of remembering things that are almost gone.
Yeah, the so legacy of even buildings and
absolutely,
so it'll really tie into the legacy of people, life, any of that, and we could do it all. So, with a minimal budget, you could get that raw footage, or if you want us to edit, we'll have teams that could edit, and so you'll have that call of exactly what you want, and you could bring it to us, and we could work with you. So,
and we don't have the website for that yet because
we're just launching.
We've been working on all these other things. So that's really the next step. Once Blissfest is complete, and we're cleanly able to move on to other projects, that's what we're doing. I'll be putting up the website for Clockwork Beast, which right now you can go to YouTube and look up Clockwork Beast. I've got some
great music videos.
Yeah, those were shot at Denver Open Media during a First Friday event. So yeah, that's a place you can go.
And we are just about out of time, so check out historiceliththeater.org or etfest.com and help us with our legacy. So thank you so much. Thank you, everybody that has been involved in our production. And we will see you Sunday and back here in 2 weeks.
You're listening to KEHSdenver.com, the streaming radio station coming to you from Denver, Colorado, USA.
Okay, there we go.
Woo! All right, guys. The feed never came up for me to share.
I know, that one's going to be let me get back.
So
We got it. Okay.
So we have this one. We have there's two real good ones. I was unsure about this one. This one was starting out real good and something went wrong again.
Oh no.
Yes. It's recorded though. Let me just go. Cheat.